Welcome to this video on the Leaving Certificate Music option for 5th years. My name is Miss Cox and I am the music teacher in Lusk Community College. Leaving Certificate Music is based on building skills which musicians use in every day of their career. These skills mainly focus on performing, composing, analysing musical works, using music-related technology, and being able to talk about and discuss music that is heard. We cover a variety of musical styles in the course, and during the course we also have the freedom to bring in styles of music which students are interested in learning more about. We also develop music literacy, and when we take students in August and September, we go from scratch. So if students do not have prior knowledge of music literacy, we will build from scratch with them. This course is a continuation of the Junior Cycle Music course. However, it is very doable for those taking music for the first time. In fact, just under half of all students in the current 5th and 6th year music classes took up music for the first time for the Leaving Certificate. It is not a prerequisite that students have Junior Cycle Music before taking Leaving Cycle Music. Leaving Certificate Music is divided into 3 strands: performing, listening, and composing. We use a mixture of activities to introduce and develop the skills involved in these 3 strands, often having 2 or 3 strands covered within a class. In classes, for example, students might actively listen to a piece of music, new or already partially studied, perform part of it, discuss what they hear in the music and how the piece of music is put together by the composer, the concept behind the music, and then compose music inspired by what they have studied. We may also have performance classes. We usually have those once a week, where students work on their own chosen pieces. These classes involve rehearsing the pieces, performing them for me and for other students, working in groups with other students to improve their performance, reflective activities, and sometimes creating video content to share online, depending on whether they wish to do that or not. We also have technology classes where students will use computer and computer-based technology to notate music or to create a backing track. Assessment at Leaving Certificate is divided into 4 different sections. 25% is based on performing, and this is assessed by a performance exam in front of a live examiner. Listening is worth 25%, and this is assessed in June during the Leaving Certificate paper based on set works and set types of music to study. Composing is 25%, also assessed in June. This is where students are required to engage in certain types of composition to show different composition skills. And students also have the opportunity to choose a further 25% on what they would like to focus on, and this is called the elective. There are various choices for the elective, which means that students can choose the area which they feel best suits them. Elective options include extra performance on one instrument. This is where you have an additional 2 pieces or songs to learn on their main instrument. Performance on a second instrument, so 4 pieces on their main instrument and 4 on their secondary instrument if they have a secondary instrument. Technology, this is where students use computers to create either a backing track or using notation software to input music into tracks. Less popular options, but also equally available to students, are creating a compositional portfolio and creating a listening essay on a genre or style of music that is of interest to them. The vast majority of students choose the extra performance elective or the technology elective, and both of these tend to mark very, very highly. The music assessment timeline depends on which electives any student has chosen. All students will partake in a practical exam in March or April, depending on how late Easter is in a given year. In this exam, they will do their performance part of the course, and if they have chosen additional performance or the music technology electives, they will also complete them in the same practical exam. If they have chosen the composing elective, that is due in late April, and all other parts of the exam take place in June. That is the listening paper, which is an hour and a half long, the composing paper, also an hour and a half long, and if students have chosen the listening elective exam, that also takes place in June. This assessment timeline means that the vast majority of students have 50% of their music exam finished before June exams even begin. And for many students, that is a great weight off their shoulder, and it is a relief to have a significant part of the course done. Also worth noting is that music tends to be quite late in the timetable for the Leaving Certificate exams in June. So oftentimes students will have a short break of a couple of days before they sit their music exam, and this is very useful for their own revision and also ensuring that they can give the music exam their best attention. The Leaving Certificate results from music have generally been very high. The results that you can see in front of you are the 2019 results for higher and ordinary level music. It is difficult to get a H1, however, the vast majority of students get a H4 and above, with only 0.4 to 0.5% of students failing at higher level. Even at ordinary level, the results are very high. In fact, music had the second lowest fail rate of any Leaving Cert subject in 2019, bettered only by Russian. 99.6% of students get a H6 or higher, and 72% get a H3 or higher. So if you are a student who is willing to work hard on this subject and is looking to fill that last option slot for your subjects for a Leaving Certificate, music could be a very good choice for you. A H1 is tricky to get, but because the format is consistent every year and there is a lot of freedom of choice for students to make the decisions that really suit them, you can prepare very well for assessments. Research shows that students who study music or learn a musical instrument are likely to attain higher grades in maths, science and languages. And that's according to the Journal of Educational Psychology. And the reason for this is that music develops a wide variety of skills and intelligences, from logical to verbal linguistic to numerical to bodily kinesthetic to interpersonal to intrapersonal. It covers a wide variety of skills and intelligences which are useful across all subjects and later in life. For the performing strand, students perform on an instrument of their choice. The voice is also considered an instrument for assessment purposes. Students prepare 4 to 6 pieces or songs, and they perform them live for an examiner. There will also be a short unprepared test, such as sight reading, clapping exercise, or a singing exercise. In the listening section of the course, there are 3 main areas of study: set works, Irish music, and aural skills. The set works represent 4 different genres of music, and these are pieces that students can really get into and really understand how they have been composed and the style that they represent. For students entering 5th year in 2021, the set works that they will be studying are Mozart's Piano Concerto No. 23, this is the classical era, Berlioz's Symphonie Fantastique, movements 2 and 4, this is the Romantic era, Dean Sea Changes, this is 20th century music composed by an Irish composer, and The Beatles, 3 songs from the Sgt. Pepper album. This is popular music, but also music technology. In the oral skills section of this course, this is where students can listen to a wide variety of music on top of these set works. And often students get an opportunity to ask and request music that they want to listen to and explore music which interests them. The composing section of the course develops a wide variety of composing skills. Students will be building those skills over a long period of time, and eventually students will be able to complete 2 styles of question on the exam paper. One style is the harmony question. This is where students look at a melody, they decide which chords will help support that melody and create strong chord progressions, and then they will create a bass line based on those chords they have chosen. They will also be able to write a 16-bar melody, including certain elements including changing key or modulation. Recent feedback from current 5th and 6th year music students was overwhelmingly positive about the subject. Students citing that we did a variety of different tasks in class. Students particularly enjoy practical classes and practical work. However, all areas of the course were mentioned, including composition, listening to pieces, and learning about new styles of music. All students recommended Leaving Certificate music, with reasons for choosing music being if you had an interest in the subject, if you like to learn about different musical styles and technique, that you get to express your own music through the practical, your own musical identity. Some saying it was an easy subject and you can't go wrong picking it. Some mentioning small class sizes, meaning that you get more one-to-one attention from the teacher and a lot more support than you would in a much bigger class size. With plenty of students saying it's fun and it serves as a great hobby or career path for those involved in creative skills. There is a whole world of careers in music and other creative industries, where the skills you learn at Leaving Certificate music are very, very valuable. These include as a professional musician, working with ensembles such as choirs, orchestras and bands, becoming a composer or conductor, working in musical theatre, journalism or education or film, working in radio or television or music therapy. However, the skills that you learn at Leaving Certificate music or even as a music graduate are desirable by all employers. These skills including organisation, discipline, creativity, self-confidence and analytical skills. As a result, quite a few music graduates end up in areas such as business, management, banking, accountancy, creative careers, education, government. Study music. Well, you should study it because it is one of the most enjoyable and practical subjects at Leaving Certificate. It's often a sign of a well-rounded education, and that's very helpful if you are applying for work and you want to be successful in a very competitive age. Music builds confidence. We typically have quite small class sizes, so you get more attention from the teacher and more one-to-one support and work. If you want Leaving Certificate points, study music. And there are many, many career options and places where you can use the skills you learn at Leaving Certificate music. If you have any questions, are looking for more information about the Leaving Certificate music course, or if you're unsure whether it's the right choice for you, then please feel free to send me an email. My address is emilycox@luskcc.ie. Thank you for listening and best of luck in choosing your Leaving Certificate subjects.